Hey, welcome back to the JavaScript weekly test 4. Okay, so today we are going to see some of the problems on the this weekly test. Okay, so in this test we are going to have the problems on objects, imports and exports, some of the DOM manipulations along with the API calls. Okay, so first of all we'll see some problems on the objects. Okay, so first of all I'm going to read the problem statement. So later I'm going to explain about it. Okay, so now here we have to create a person object. Okay, so in that person object we should have one name and one method called greet. Okay, so whenever I'm going to call this greet method, it should return the message with the name property. Okay, like I should have one name. So for example, let me take a name called maybe Suresh. Okay, so there should be a one method called greet. So whenever I'm going to call this object person dot greet, it should return the hello Suresh or hello good morning Suresh or something like that. So it should return the message. That is what this problem is. Okay, so next if we can see the next problem. So we have to create an object called math operations. Okay, so we have to create the all the methods. Okay, that means we have to create some functions inside that, inside math operations object. So those are like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, so whenever I'm going to call the addition, so it should do some of the addition. So it should take some of the arguments, and based on the arguments it should return some of the some of the values, some. Okay, sum of the both values. So we have to pass it as a argument, and we have to access those as a parameter. Okay, yeah. So next, if we can see the next, so we have to create an object called core. Okay, so we have to create some keys and properties, like a keys or properties. That's fine. So like model, make, and year. So we have to create a method called get car info. So that should return the string describe the car. So we have to create, so here what it is saying is we have to create an object called car. So in that we should have some properties like make, model, year, color or something like that. So in that again we should have a method called get car information. Whenever I'm going to call car dot get car info, if I call this function should return information about the car model, car making, car year or car color or something like that. Okay, just check it out. Okay, yep. So next we are done with the objects methods. Okay, so next we'll see the imports and exports statements. Okay, so now here again I'm going to read the say problem statement and I'm going to explain it. Okay, so now here we have to create a module called mathutils.js, and we have to export that function. Okay, and add which we have to take. So so here we have to create a function called mathutils.js, and that is going to in that file we should have a method or function called add. Okay, so which is going to take the two parameters. Okay, parameters. Okay, and based on that, what are the parameters that we are passing, so it should calculate the sum of the parameters and it should return its sum. Okay, so and again after that, so we have to do this one inside the math utils, and after that, so we have to create another file called main.js or the script.js, anything is okay, and we have to import this function inside this main.js, so that whenever I'm going to call this add function inside main.js, so it is going to give us the sum of the numbers, and we have to pass the arguments as well, so that it's going to give us the sum of the two numbers that we are passing. Okay, inside main.js, but it should written in the math.utils.js file. Okay, so yeah, that's how this problem statement is. Okay, next again we have to create a math.utils.js. Same, you can just use the same math.utils.js file only. Okay, in that we should have some of the named exports. Okay, called so some of the named exports related to mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division or something like that. Again in the main file only. Okay, in the main file only you have to import all these. Okay, all these, and do the math operations by passing the arguments. Okay, that's how these two statements are. Okay, So next we are done with the imports and exports problems. Okay, next if we can talk about the DOM manipulations, document object model. Okay, so here we are having three problem statements, so we'll see one by one. Okay, so here we have to create a web page with a paragraph, element and button. That means we have to create one HTML file with the paragraph and the button, okay, elements, and we have to write a JavaScript function, okay, the event, okay, the event with the button. Okay, so whenever I'm going to click on the button, so this is going to change. Which one? The paragraph should change. Paragraph content should change. Okay, whenever I'm going to click on the button, so that for that we should have some events. Okay, just take the events and write the logic accordingly. Okay, for this problem, first problem. Okay, next we have to create a web page, okay, with a button. Okay, whenever I'm going to click on the button, so it should change the background color of the page to a random color. Okay, so what it is saying is, so we have to create a web page. Okay, so we have to create a web page with the button. Okay, whenever I'm going to click on the button, so it should change the background color randomly. Okay, that's how the second question is. Okay, next if we can see the third question. Okay, so we have to create a web page with a login form. Okay, we should have some form like email, password, or something like that. Okay, we have to validate the fields. Okay, whether user is entered or not. Also, we should have the required field. Okay, so if you do not fill properly, we have to return an error call. Please fill the forms. Please fill the please fill all the fields or something like that. Okay, in any message you can add that you want to. Okay, that's how the last statement is. Okay, so next we have a another API calls. So how the last one is like a API call, so we have to use the fetch method to get the data from the DB. So for that we have to use the get http method, and we have to show the content accordingly. So this method is, I mean, sorry, this function is going to have the some of the wait, I'll show you. So some of the keys, okay, like it's going to be all about the photos. Okay, in that one we are going to have album id, normal id, and title, url, and thumbnail url. Okay, so here we have to show the title and along with the url, and thumbnail is a like a kind of thumbnail. Okay, so that's like a first photo we can say. Okay, just show accordingly, and everything going to be same. Every object is going to have title, url, thumbnail, url. Okay, so it's going to be like too many photos. So these, I mean, use the get http method to call the API and show the content on the web page accordingly. Okay, so that's how the weekly test 4 is. Okay, so all the best. Thank you so much.